Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, I want to talk about the job shipment in Dynamics Nav or Dynamics 365 Business Central. Job shipment is not a new feature of Business Central, so even in Dynamics Nav, it already exists. And so what item is associated with the job shipment? We call it non-stock item. Means you don't carry any inventory in your for the non-stock item. You just get the product from the vendors, and then the vendor will ship the product directly to a customer. You don't even need to receive the products in your warehouse. So then we call it job shipment. And Microsoft renamed the non-stock item to catalog item in Dynamics Nav. And then even in Business Central, we still call it catalog item. The name of the catalog item should relate it to, because on the vendor card, you set up a vendor catalog. So if you go to the vendor card, go to the related, and then go to purchases and go to items. Now you could see there's a vendor item catalog. So you can set up for each vendor what items are supplied by that vendor, and then the item number like your vendor use, and then you can set up the lead time calculation for this item to be shipped. So and also when you use the catalog item, like you don't put it in the inventory, but actually when you do the job shipment, whatever on the job shipment has to be an inventory item. You cannot use the catalog item directly on your job shipment. So at that time, you have to create the inventory item from your catalog item. So that's how the job shipment works. And so I'm just going to use an inventory item as example and to quickly show you two different ways you can use the job shipment. So one is like you create a sales order, then you create a purchase order from the sales order by linking the sales order. Another way is you can use the requisition worksheet to generate the purchase orders associated to the same sales order. So you can have multiple purchase orders for the same sales order, depends on like if the items are provided by the same vendors or not, right? If they're provided by different vendors, then you will generate different POs for the same sales order. So let's take a look of my item card. So we'll find two items as example to see. Make sure the two items I'm going to use for this example will be supplied by different vendors. Okay, so let's scroll down on the item card and then go to the replenishment. So in this case, because this item is production, it's created, it's a finished good manufacturing item. So the replenishment system is a production order. So it will not be a good example. So let's filter the item list by using the replenishment system as a purchase. Okay. Replenishment system as a purchase. And then we can see which items we can use. Okay. So we have a bunch of items. Let's go to the item card and make sure we have different vendors. Okay, so you could see this item, and I'm just gonna put it in a notepad so we can use them on our sales orders later as example. And so this first item is 1110, and then the vendor who provide this item is this vendor. Okay, so then I'm just gonna copy this vendor to my notepad. Okay, just give me one moment. Okay, so yeah, and then this is one item number, so that doesn't matter to us. Then we're gonna find another item, and this item, take a look, is if it is supplied by a different vendor. So this is all by the same vendor, so we need to pick another one because we need the, okay, this item is good. We can use this as example. So I just need the two items supplied by two different vendors, and then we can use that as example. So I will show you the first approach. I'm gonna create a sales order and then create a purchase order which link to the sales order. Okay, for these. But these two items, so it will not be the same PO because they're created by two different vendors. But if I don't use different vendors, I can create a one PO who supplied these items, both items, right? So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna create a sales order. And then on the sales order, you have to make sure on the sales line, you have to mark the item as a drop shipment. Otherwise, then if you don't have any inventory, then it will remind you, you will see an inventory warning. So I'm gonna use this customer. And then on the line, so we need to make sure on the line we have that drop ship on the line. If we don't, then we have to customize our view. So I'm just going to quickly customize our view to add that. Okay. Okay, so drop shipment, let's drag it to our line. Okay, so now the next step, we have to put those two items on my purchase order. Oh, so yeah, because this computer is a new computer, I'm not too familiar with the shortcut key on this computer yet. So okay, so we got this item. Okay, let's mark it as a drop shipment. And then on the second line, let's add another item, the second item here. Okay, so, oops, still the same. So we need this second item here. Okay, so now we can enter the quantity. Just enter 20 here, okay?
Hello, everyone.
Okay, so we are good on this order, and then we are good to create a purchase order for it. And then let's just quickly create a purchase order, then just make sure you are using the same. So this sales order number is 1001, and then I'm gonna just create a purchase order and make sure when we create a purchase order, we are using that same customer. So let's click on new. And then, so we can select the first vendor, which provide the first item. Okay. And then you don't need to enter any lines on the purchase line. So what you have to do, you have to go to the shipping and then change this ship to this customer address, and then you have to enter that customer number. So after that, after this, then you can go to the header and go to actions, functions, and then go to the drop ship. Then you can get orders, get sales orders. Okay, so our order number is 1001, so we know that's the order we're using. But pay attention to this. So we only, for this vendor, because the other item is supplied by another vendor, right? Not this vendor. But when you do this way, then it will pull both items. Even the second item is not supplied by this vendor. So you have to manually delete it. Then you create another PO if you do want the other vendor to supply it. If this vendor cannot supply this item, you have to do that way. Okay? So this is how you can create this purchase order. And then when you receive this purchase order, when you post the purchase order receiving for this, then it will automatically post that sales order shipment. So let's just quickly do this. So if, let me see if on the line I already entered quantity to receive. I did. Okay, so let's just receive this. And then after you did this, go back to the sales order. You will see on the sales order, both items has been shipped. So this is a kind of what dropshipment can do for you. When you receive the PO, it will automatically ship the sales order. Let's go back to the sales order, check the lines that you will see on the sales line. Then these two quantities becomes quantity shipped. So then you have to invoice your purchase order and this sales order separately, okay? So let's do another second approach. If you don't use the purchase order, don't manually create a purchase order, then another way you can use the requisition worksheet. So let's still put in these two items as an example. So that if you are using the requisition worksheet, then it will be better because then you don't need to, the system will automatically use whatever you set up on the item card for the vendor. Okay, so let's enter these two items first. Okay, and then mark them as a job ship. And so still do this 20 and this quantity 10 and 20, and then we can release the sales order. And now because our second approach is we're gonna use the requisition worksheet to do it, to generate the purchase order for us. So let's just click on drop ship and then click on get sales orders. Leave this blank, okay? Then just click on OK. So because we only have one sales order we created, so we can leave that blank. But you have multiple, then you have to filter by the sales order number. So then we have these two items showing up on the line, on the requisition line. And then you can see they're by different vendors, and it will be two different purchase orders. So if you want to create a PO, then because you can see action, this accept action message is already checked. And what you have to do is you only need to click on manage. Oh, so it's not there. So you only need to carry out the action. So you need to find out this is under the process and the carry out action message. Then let's click on OK. So this will generate two different purchase orders for you. So compared with the other way, which you have to manually create a purchase order, then this way using the requisition worksheet will be faster and more efficient, and it will create two different PO for you. So we know our vendor, okay? So let's take a look. Our vendor number is this and this, okay? Let's search if we see any vendor with this number. Let's search this number. Okay, so we can see that, and this is this is actually the PO we just created, okay? Because it's still open. So when you do it from the requisition worksheet, it will not automatically release the purchase order because the system expects you to come and take a look, verify the order, and then you can release it. So this is one of the PO, and then let's just remove this filter. And so this is the other PO, which is for the vendor 32456123. Then both are in the open status. After you verify the PO, then you can release them. Okay, take a look on the line. So that's this item for the quantity 20. And the receiving is the same like the other example I showed you. You just when you receive the PO, then it will automatically post the sales shipment on the sales order, and then you have to invoice the purchase order and the sales order separately. So another thing I want to talk about is sometimes you may find there's a field on the item card. It's called job shipment, but it's not a field to mark the item as a job shipment item. So what I'm gonna do is I want to inspect this page. So when I inspect this page and search job ship, then you could see I saw there's this field that says job shipment, right? And then but it shows as a job shipment filter. So it's not just a regular field mark the item as a job shipment item or not. There's no such field. So what is the job shipment filter? What is that used for? So if you go to the item list and open the filter, then you go to the filter total by and click on filter, then you will see that job shipment filter shows up here. So what you see under a list, if it's a page list, if you see filter totals by, those filters are the flow filters. So the flow filters are used to filter the flow field. And what is flow field? Flow field is kind of like in the table, you create those fields, and those fields with some calculations, and reference another table to make those calculations. So for example, on the item card, then like this quantity on purchase order, quantity on all these fields, and the inventory, all these fields flow fields, because like it's calculating based on, because it's using another table, like quantity on sales order is calculating on the sales lines and total up this item on all the sales lines, right? And then it's calculating the number. So it's a flow field because it's a calculation and reference another table, which is the sales line table. So this we call it flow field. And the flow filter is used to calculate these to filter the flow. Flow filter is used to filter the flow field. Okay, so just to give you an example, in this case, we created 2 job shipments, right? And then with this item 1110 and 1151, right? So let's see a difference. Right now, I didn't use this job shipment filter, okay? So then on this 1110, on this item, so which is the first item I use on my job shipment sales order. Then if you look at this quantity on sales order, right now I see it as 10, show up as 10, right? Now let's add a flow filter, okay? Job shipment flow filter, and say job shipment no, okay? And then, so let's make a prediction. What's gonna be that quantity on sales order if it's, I say job shipment no? Let's just take a look of the results and to see if that, you see quantity on sales order that's changed, right? Because actually those sales orders are the job shipment to, so let's just change this flow filter to be yes, then you can understand this better. Because when we have the job shipment says yes, and only those 2 sales orders, they have job shipment, is the one I created, 1001, 1002. The first I created and linked to a purchase order, I manually created a link to the sales order. And the second, I created the sales order for job shipment, and then I was using the requisition worksheet to create a purchase orders, right? So that's why on both of these 2 orders and the job shipment, because the other one of them 1001, I already shipped. Because I post the purchase receipt, it automatically shipped that sales order line, right? So that item is not in the inventory anymore, that 10, right? But that item is not on the sales line anymore because it's already shipped. Only the second one, and it has the 10, which I haven't shipped. So then, which means, so on both these sales orders, the quantity for that item on the sales order is really like only 10, which is from the second sales order. The first one is not in the quantity anymore, it's already shipped. So that's why you see it as a 10. But if I change it to no, not job shipment, because that 10 is for the job shipment. If you change it to no, then you will see that quantity on sales order, job shipment no, not job shipment. Then it will be 0 because I don't have any other sales order for this item which is not on job shipment. Okay, so that's how you can see the difference when we filter the job shipment, when we use this job shipment filter. So take this second item as example. We expect this to show, like when we say job shipment no, right? Then we expect it to say no because I don't have any other sales order for this item, which is not the job shipment. And if we change this to yes, then you will see I expect that quantity will be 20 because for the first sales order 1001, I already shipped that item for 20. So that item is not on the sales line anymore. It's on the sales shipment line, right? Only for the second order, sales order 1002, I still have 20 on it because I only created the purchase order with the requisition worksheet. I didn't ship it yet. So on the sales line, I still have 20. So I expect if I say job shipment yes, then this will say quantity on sales order, it should say 20. Let's take a look. Okay, so it does quantity on sales order. So you could see that's how you use the flow filter, because it's just a filter used to filter the flow field. And those fields I told you on the item table, these fields, these grayed out fields, those are flow fields. Okay, but in this case, it's only this related to that drop shipment. Everything else is not. So, oh, sorry. So this one should relate it to the drop shipment as well. This quantity on purchase order. That in this case, because we have the sales order and we have the linked purchase order. So let's take a look of the first item. This 1110. It should have 10 on. If we use drop shipment filter, yes, we should have 10 on the purchase order as well. Quantity on purchase order. Yeah. So only these two are related to the drop shipment flow filter. Okay, so that's everything I want to talk in this video. Thank you so much for watching it. I will see you guys again next time.